It's March 29th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a man who mutilated himself to survive, a king assassinated in a room of masks, and an army buried in silence for centuries. Let's begin. On March 29, 1943, a mission deep inside Nazi-occupied Norway went horribly wrong. A small team of resistance fighters landed above the Arctic Circle. Their goal? Sabotage German operations. But they did one mistake. They trusted the wrong man and sealed their fate. Betrayed, hunted, and surrounded, their escape turned into massacre. Only one man got away. His name was Baalsrud. After his boat was destroyed, he swam through the freezing Arctic water, under gunfire, reaching the shores, barefoot, soaked, and already dying from the cold. Behind him, his team was captured, tortured, and executed. Ahead of him, nothing but mountains, snow, and silence. For 63 days, he disappeared into the wilderness. He traveled only at night, hiding by day, moving from cabin to cabin as ordinary villagers risked their life to help him. Any moment, a single betrayal would mean death for all of them. Then came the avalanche. It tore away his supplies and nearly his life. Days later, starving and snowblind, he collapsed in a remote farmhouse. By then, his feet had turned black with gangrene. The cold had begun to rot him alive, and there was no doctor and no rescue, so he made a decision. With nothing but a knife, he cut off his own toes. Still, he kept moving, hidden in caves, dragged across frozen mountains, carried by strangers who refused to let him die. Eventually, after weeks of unimaginable pain, two brothers carried him by reindeer sled towards the Swedish border. Gunfire followed them across the snow, but he made it, and when the doctors asked who amputated his toes, he simply said, "I did." He survived, but would later say he was no hero. The real heroes were the people who chose to help him, knowing that it could cost them everything. On March 29, 1792, King Gustav III finally died from a wound that no one could explain in the moment. 13 days earlier, inside the Royal Opera House in Stockholm, the air was filled with music, laughter, and masks. Hundreds of guests moved through candlelight, their identities hidden. An anonymous letter told him plainly, "You will be killed tonight," but the king didn't stay away. Instead, he walked into the crowd, almost if he wanted to see who would dare. Then, a figure stepped close behind him. A gun was raised, and in the middle of the music, a shot rang out. The king staggered forward, and the weapon had been packed with nails, metal, and anything that would tear through flesh. Panic instantly spread, and the doors were sealed. Guests were trapped, and no one knew who among them had pulled the trigger. The king didn't die instantly. For nearly 2 weeks he lived with the wound inside him, until infection spread. And for one brief moment in history, death itself wore a disguise. A warning ignored, a crowd of masks, and a killer hidden in plain sight. On March 29, 1974, a group of farmers was digging water and uncovered something. A drought had dried the land in Lingtung County, China, so farmers dug deeper, searching for anything beneath the cracked earth. And then, their shovels struck something hard. At first it was just a fragment, a broken head, a piece of a face, a strange red earth that didn't belong there. They thought they had disturbed something sacred, so they reported it. They didn't just find a statue, they found an army. Buried beneath the soil, row after row of silent soldiers, thousands of them. Each one life-sized, each one different, staring forward as if waiting for orders. The site lay over a kilometer from the tomb of Shi Hua, a ruler obsessed with immortality, and this was his final command, an army not built for war, but the afterlife. More than 8,000 warriors, along with horses, chariots, had been sealed underground for over 2,000 years, and even now, the emperor's tomb remains unopened. Ancient records speak of rivers of mercury and deadly traps waiting inside. So the army stands undisturbed, as if it was guarding something we were never meant to see. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.